I'm Rosella and my company is Stitching in the Moment. I stitch every single day, and possibly the favouriteest thing I love to stitch is flowers. And I always think that actually flowers need leaves. They sort of frame them, and there are so many different types of leaves that you can stitch. So I'm just going to show you three really useful ones today, some of my favourites. So I'm going to start with, this is a heat erasable pen. You can also get air erasable pens, just check the website. And I'm just going to draw an outline of a leaf so that I can follow it. So I think let's start with the fern stitch. So let's just have a bit of a wavy line there. And this is really simple. It's just a series of straight stitches basically. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your needle through just a short way from the tip and straight back down. And then you're going to go from one side back into that starting point, and then also from the other side back into that starting point, and then you're going to move back down a little way. Each stitch that you make down can then be the starting point or the end point for the next stitches down. And of course you could alter the length of these side stitches as much as you like. You could put extra little branches on these as well. But it's just a really nice stitch because it's very easy to wave. It means that you could have this as ferns, as fronds, you could have it under the sea maybe, as coral, whatever you want to use it for. Now I'm actually using a variegated thread for this as well, which means that you're getting that difference in the design as well without any extra work there. And of course this can be as long or as short a leaf as you actually require. So this is the fern stitch, and I just think it's a really pretty stitch. So I think we'll leave it there because actually it's a really nice stitch to do, and I could continue for ages and ages, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just let my thread hang down at the bottom because it's knotting up, I can feel it. And we'll draw the next one. So let's go for this one. Same stitch here, and this is the fly stitch. Now fly stitch leaves are perfect. You can make them really tiny for rose leaves. You can make them really broad so that you could have a really broad shaped leaf. You could actually put 2 or 3 together so that you've got something like maybe a maple leaf or an ivy leaf. So let's just pop a simple leaf shape on there, and I'm going to put a centre line down there as well. And it doesn't matter if you don't actually stick to your lines because it's going to be erased at the end anyway. Again, I'm just going to pop a little centre line down, and then each side again. So I'm starting at, this is my left. I'm now going to grab hold of the thread. I'm going to take the needle down on the right, and I'm going to come up at the bottom of that initial stitch, making a little V, pull my thread through, and then I'm just going to anchor it just below. Next stitch is going to come again from my left, could be the right, doesn't matter, back down at the other side, make that little V again, and anchor it back down. Now you could pack these stitches as densely as you'd like to, or you could leave a lot of air between them, and I think that sort of gives quite a contemporary feel to it as well. Whatever design you have, just choose as you go along really. I've used these fly stitch leaves on one of my designs this week actually, on my cornflower design. I'm just going to show you the finished article of that one. I'm going to bring it to my stitching. So you can see then I've left quite a lot of air between those, so it's quite a frondy type of leaf there. So it's a very versatile stitch and lots of fun to do again. So I'm just going to go a little bit further down. Now if you feel that actually you would like it a little bit more densely packed, just go back and pop a few straight stitches in, that's absolutely fine. And again, when you get towards the bottom, if you need to add some straight stitches to pack it, then go ahead and do that. So that's the fly stitch leaf. So in, down, hang on to that thread and come up within it, and then anchor it down. So that's our fly stitch. I'm just going to pop that needle to the side because I've run out of thread and get another one. and we'll choose a third leaf. Now I'm going to start a new thread, and I'm actually going to tie a little knot, and this is called a waist knot or an away knot. So the idea is that I'm going to anchor it on the front of my fabric. I'm going to bring the thread along the back, and then at some point I'm going to stitch over it at the back, which means that I can then just cut this little knot away. So let's do my third and final leaf, and again let's pop a little leaf shape there, and this one, and it's made up of lazy daisies and French knots, and I think you've already seen a video on French knots. So let's start with some lazy daisies. So needle up, hang on to your thread, and then a needle back down in exactly the same spot if you can. Leave a loop, and then you're going to bring your needle up through that loop. And instead of just anchoring it down, we're actually going to do a French knot. So we're going to pull our thread, I'm right-handed, to my left side. The needle's going to go under top to bottom a couple of times. So top to bottom a couple of times, and then I can anchor that little lazy daisy down. Next one a little bit further below. Back down in the same hole. Going to bring my needle up through the loop, but instead of anchoring it straight away, French knot. So to the side, top to the bottom, and anchor it down. Just give that a little bit of a tug. And then I'm going to immediately go over to the other side of that leaf and do the same. And I think this is just such a fun stitch for a leaf, something totally different. But again, this would be great maybe for a fern, because they have those sort of little curly bits on the end of their leaves. You could do a smaller French knot maybe, and for something with a slightly prickly leaf, maybe a rose leaf, something like that. Oops, nearly unthreaded my, oh, I have unthreaded my needle. Okay, you might have to talk amongst yourselves for a minute now then, whilst I thread this. Oh, if only I brought a needle threader with me. Oh, success. So, bring the needle back up. Again, little French knot on the end. And the same at the other side. And you're just going to work your way down to the bottom of your leaf. If you've left a little bit of space in between each of your lazy daisies there, then you can always pop a little stem within your leaf, maybe a little back stitch. So we'll just pop a little stitch down there just to create a little stem as well, and a vein in your leaf. I think that will actually do for that one. So that's 3 of my favourite maybe leaf stitches, some that I enjoy doing anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.